It has been a while since I've done an episode like this. Yes, this is Game Changer, a chance for me to dive into your save and share with you some thoughts. And of course, along the way, hopefully, I learned something too. I'm a bit mystified as to why he needs my feedback because he's joined top of the table with Tottenham, Leeds, and Brentford. He's got a big match coming against Liverpool, and he wants to have some feedback on his save, how he's doing. We're going to give it a cursory look at first, and then we're going to dive a bit deeper. We're also going to use a new tool that I've created, which allows me to dive a bit deeper into the numbers and offer some feedback. The board wants him to play entertaining football, attacking football, and sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. Now, when they have this thing, like it's only 1 out of, 4 bars, and well, they'll be disappointed. They're willing to live with that disappointment because you're still giving them entertaining football, which is the critical thing here. And so far, you're doing well. I mean, they won't kick you out of the club. There's no way that's going to happen if you are untouchable, which is the case at the moment. So you must have done well in your first season. Okay, now let's take a look at certain things that are pretty straightforward. Now, I am a big, huge fan of doing this. Now, here we've got a scouting view, right? So you've got your youth team. I'm going to very quickly go to your coaching team. I've got this set up. This is my view. Personality is extremely important for staff who are in your youth team because they will impact the kind of players that come through your youth ranks later. Because at the moment, a lot of the players that are in the game are invisible. They are like 12 to 14 or 15 years old. You don't see them, right? Their names don't appear, but they are in the game. They're hiding in the game and they're waiting to come out. How your personalities are going to be affected are going to be a function of the staff personalities that you have and the head of youth development. The head of youth development affects the outliers, the 5 stars and the no stars or the 0 stars, right? These two extremes, the head of youth development influences. But the rest of the personalities, these guys do. So what do you want to do when I'm usually playing these kind of saves is I sign coaches with very good personalities. This helps me along the way because I get a good mix of personalities in my youth team. Over time, osmosis will happen. They will start influencing each other. You will find that without even doing anything, players are going to start getting better, stronger personalities as time goes on. A player from jovial will become balanced. Sometimes a player who's fairly professional becomes resolute. Now, I think that some of the best personalities for staff include resolute, model professional, model citizen. Hire them as a priority first, right? Then worry about their attributes. I'm not joking. Seriously, I know it sounds really strange, but if you look, I've been doing no attributes saves for quite a while. And when I sign my staff, I don't even look at the attributes, right? I just look at their personality, their coaching qualifications, and their reputation. If I get all 3 to be high, I don't care about the attributes. And I've got some very great personalities coming through my youth team. So this is something you might want to try out. Okay, now it's time for us to take a little look at your results so far in the season. Well, not too bad. I mean, you opened up with quite significant wins. Let's take a look at some of these games against Leeds, against Brentford. You've been playing a low block, I noticed. I've seen your tactics. I don't have any idea which of those 2 tactics you're using, but looking at the way you're playing, you're playing quite well. The team, you got this defender locked down. You're not getting to move very far, and you're creating decent chances in and around the area. I'm going to show you something that you want to pay attention to in terms of statistics to help you out as well. Now, here we go. You see, he's locked out. You've locked him down, and this is very good because you're protecting one side of the flank. You're an underdog, and you want to do really well. And the pressure that you're exerting, even on these low mentalities, is solid. Plenty of goal scoring opportunities. Sinestera is scoring some really good goals for you. When you go to match stats, I suggest having final third passes. OPPDA is, in my opinion, I think there's something wrong with this number, but I'm usually looking at this number, final third passes. So when I'm looking at final third passes, this tells us how many passes you're managing in the final third, usually this will be quite an indication, because sometimes I'm trying to build up play in the final third, and if I can't build up play during the course of the match, I'm actually staring at this number quite a lot to find out whether we are doing something in the final third. Now, high intensity sprints, basically you'll see a lot of high intensity sprints for tactics like gegen pressing, but here you've got two pretty even teams in terms of chances created. You've done very well with your defensive system in restricting the amount of chances the opposition has. Now, XG is just basically, in a nutshell, right, great chances that a team has had, right? So in terms of XG, 0.45, we can jump into this as well. This is like, I've seen flatline XGs before, where the team gets like 0.2 and it never improves after that. That is a hallmark of a very good defensive system. This is not bad because you're restricting the opposition to pretty poor chances, whereas you start out with one that is awesome, and then basically anything from 0.17 to 0.25 is considered a good chance, and you've got plenty of them. So your tactic, whatever it is you're doing right now, is working. The second thing I want to do when I'm looking at this, of course, you've had some tough results. You've lost to West Ham, you lost to Liverpool. We can go to the data hub, right? We can try and find out more information from the data hub. Now, data hub will have all kinds of information. What I like to find out is not here. We can edit this and then go. We can edit this, come down here to zone map. There's something that I like to see in the zone map, and it's here, defensive actions. Now, defensive actions basically tell us where you've been doing the grunt of your work in terms of defensive, tackles, interceptions, that kind of thing. And it tells me that you're doing a lot of it in your own third. Okay. In terms of your pass map comparison, will tell us where you hold the ball really well and keep possession of the ball and move it around, and we can see this area here. Now let's take a look at your tactic. Your tactic is pretty solid. I like your tactic because it's very interesting. It is a very, very interesting tactic because I don't see a lot of people playing like this. You got a defend cover setup. Now there is nothing wrong with this because this is the old. You send one player out to stop a player and you get another defender to cover the space behind him. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is very old school, but it can still work. Then we've got a ball-winning midfielder here who's been told to pass it shorter, roaming playmaker, more direct passes, run with wide with the ball and move into channels. You basically want him to come into this area and do something with the ball. We've got a fullback on support, crossing from byline, looking for a target forward, which you don't have. Okay, get further forward, stay wider, close down less. Okay, fine. More very defensive setup, right? This, when you do close down less, you don't want him over committing. You want him to hold the space, right? So you basically want him to hold his line instead of committing. Again, nothing wrong with that. I think very few people are doing that. In fact, I've got one of my tactics from last year which had press 0, okay, and it still worked. We've got inside forward on support cross. Again, cross same target forward. You don't have a target forward. You probably can, live without this. I think you were trying a target forward in this position as well. Or a wide target man in this particular case. This is very nice. I like stay wider on inside forwards. They usually arrive. They cause a lot of problems with that instruction. And then we've got shadow striker, more direct roam from position. Fine, again, more direct passes. Yep, okay. You've got more direct passes on your pressing forward. Okay, I get what you're trying to do because your team is sitting back and you don't want to waste time with the ball. You just want to push it forward as quickly as you can. The other instruction here is, of course, take more risks, but your player can't do that because of the role. He's a pressing forward. They don't take a lot of risks with the ball. So what you're telling him to do is basically play longer passes. That's what the instruction is going to do. Your mentality is defensive. Once again, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Let's see whether you've got any funky. Okay, you don't have any OIs. There's nothing wrong with this again, but I personally like to play with OIs, especially if I'm playing low blocks, right? Whenever I'm playing a low block, there are two ways you can set up a low block. One of these low blocks is everybody tight mark and make sure that there's not a lot of space available. Then what I like to do is I like to go to my players and I like to set tight marking individually. So I'll get these guys to tight mark, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The front players to tight mark. And then I will come in here and I'll tight mark their DMs and their MCs, making sure that they don't have much time on the ball, but I also hard tackle them. So when they get the ball, whoever is in their zone brings them down, doesn't give them time and space on the ball. So that is an option. Now, one other thing you don't want to do when you're playing a low block system is assign tight marking or trigger presses on their backline. Because what you want to do generally is you want to get these guys to come up the pitch. The opposition fullbacks to come up the pitch so that they leave space behind their lines that these players can take advantage of, right? So from what I can see, it doesn't look so bad. But what I now want to do is I want to dive deeper into your numbers. Of course, there's one way of doing it is to use this. Of course, now I've automated the process for myself, and we're going to now use the tool that you guys who are in the Discord have been using. So we've got a match against Liverpool coming up. You're not doing too badly as Leeds. What we want to do is analyze your team. So I've got this view. We can use this in the game, or I basically go and export the views and I drop them into my tool to give me a better understanding of the players. So this tool will be available to everybody very soon. We are beta testing it on Discord before it goes out. It's called Dr. Jit. So here we've got our players. Of course, there's more information. It's all hidden here, right? Okay, so I'm just going to show you this so it's easier to see it very quickly. I want to try and identify who your best defenders are. So if I'm looking at this, Robin Koch, Junior Firpo, Pascal Stroik, your starting defenders are among one of these three, right? So Robin Koch and Pascal Stroik, these are the ones that we want to start with. We want to give them some stability. Charlie Cresswell is not bad. Vinicius Koye has played 2 games for you. I mean, we know that if we open this up. He's only played 2 games. He's a youngster. Maybe he's had 2 outstanding games where he appeared. So, but I'll be very careful if I see something maybe it's on a 20-year-old. We want to give him, he's got plenty of room to develop, but we want to make sure he develops in the right way. I think this potentially, we've got a superstar here. And then got Kyle Walker-Peters. Defensive score is 3.467. Doesn't create a lot from the back. It's only 0.3. Something like 0.9 to 1 is a very good score for fullbacks. Then we've got Frank Gracia playing on the left. He's probably your starting left back, right? So he's a left back. And you got Tyler Adams in midfield, 2.880, which is good. Now, he's probably solid. A solid midfielder will have about 2.8. Fran Beltran, 2.7. Stuart Dallas, 2.6. These are all solid players. Then we move down the list. We got Jack Harrison. Then we can look at players who have created chances. So here we uncheck this. And then we come here. We'll see players who have created lots of chances. Now here, Jesper Lindstrom has created quite a few chances. He can get in and score goals. He's not that fantastic at winning the ball at 1.623. Somewhere around 2.6 is good for midfielders. Stuart Dallas, a lot better. Can create chances, can bury them as well. So Stuart Dallas playing in midfield is not a bad option here. And then we've got Stuart Dallas. Who else can play in midfield? Now, the thing is, we need them to create chances. You got a roaming playmaker and a ball-winning midfielder. So how do we want to set this up? So we've got Tyler Adams with 2.880. Doesn't create a lot of chances, so he can be the ball-winning midfielder. You can pair him with Stuart Dallas as well. So he's not too bad. He can do a decent job. And then down the flanks, we got Frank Garcia. Now, when I'm looking at your tactic, this is what I see. Lindstrom is here. Lindstrom can be here. Now, the shadow striker could be Gonto as well. We can play Gonto as a shadow striker. And then Poulsen maybe as a target forward or a pressing forward. Then in this position, of course, we were going through the names earlier. So it looks like we can have a Tyler Adams and a Stuart Dallas combination here. And then in this position, it will be... we can also use Marco Roca here as well, because Marc Roca comes deep to get the ball. It's not bad for a playmaker, right? So we can either use Stuart Dallas, who shoots from distance, runs the ball often. This could be dangerous. He's got low technique, so he might lose the ball sometimes. So let's go with Roca instead. But we know that Stuart Dallas is a very good defensive option when we need one. Then with Frank Garcia playing here. So this could be a starting 11. Now, it's not a bad tactic, but against really good teams, we're going to struggle. It's the debate is going to be, do we drop these two into a segundo volante position? But I would keep this tactic and slowly get better players. But it's not bad. It's okay. But one I think I don't like is this sit narrow. You see, when you're doing this stop crosses and you sit narrow, he tucks inside. Who's stopping the crosses then? You're expecting Sinistera to come back or Adams to come in, that opens up space in the middle, right? So I would just remove that. Instead, I will just go Mark tighter. So whoever comes down the flanks is on them straight away. So here we got this. I would remove cross on byline as well. You can get him to get further forward. Stay wider is not necessary. I mean, how wide do you want him to be? That's the other thing. Because if he goes too far, then you open space up against players like Mo Salah that can be dangerous, right? So stay wider, not necessary. Cross him, target forward can help. Get further forward can help. He will push up a bit earlier. Here again, if you want that kind of push from the back. Then the other option is ask your central defenders to dribble more. Okay, I'm going to stick with this. I'm not a big fan of defend cover in the game. I honestly am not. I rather have two defenders on the same tier. But this wingback on defense is a bit more defensive against Liverpool. We got Eddie Robertson coming down. We're playing against Liverpool next. And then we got more direct, cross aim target forward. This is a very direct setup. So what we'll do is mark tighter and tackle harder. Okay, so get him to mark tighter, tackle harder. And we'll get more direct passes, roam from position. Okay, we'll tell him to mark tighter as well. So they put some pressure on the back line. Okay, now we've got a low block, standard defensive line. We can play it. These players are going to drop back and try and get back into a huddle. Now, we don't want these players to do it, right? But this is a top-heavy system. They are going to do it. You're going to end up defending largely with this group of players anyway. So we can try this tactic. We'll play against Liverpool, see what happens. I'm still not confident. I think that if you wanted to play against Liverpool, you're probably better off playing something which has got two DMs inside, so you can protect you can protect the front, and then you want to hit teams on the break, so you probably want to have players on attack duty in the final third. Okay, so we've started a game. We're watching this on sideline view. Hopefully, you can see from here, right? Final third passes. How many final third passes are we allowing the opposition? You can actually see the stat, which tells us whether we are building play in the opponent's third. Here we go, Kyle Walker-Peters to the ball, goes forward, finds Sinisterra, Adams back there, Koch looking for options, then goes all the way to front Garcia. That's good. He goes off on his own, plays it into Lindstrom. Lindstrom does really well. If he can hold on to the ball, he does. We can't score. That was good work. Robin Koch doing well against Stroik to Roca. He comes deep to get the ball. That's why we are playing him, right? We are playing him only because he comes deep to get the ball. If he doesn't have that trait, I wouldn't be playing him in that position. So we've got players coming in: Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Thiago. I mean, there is potential, but I still think Liverpool are going to beat us. There's sheer panic at the back right now. Virgil, Gomez over the top, Mo Salah. Mo Salah is not having an easy time, so Thiago is going to shoot from there. Fabinho, Robertson, crossing, Salah. No, he's offside. Okay, first 5 minutes, we've survived the torture chamber that is Liverpool at Anfield. Okay. Now, in a system like this, where we will need two excellent midfielders on the bench waiting to come on. That's it. So if you want to do well against teams like Liverpool and the top sides, and you don't have this defensive posture for large periods of time, then make sure you have a bench that can come on and keep doing the hard work. Otherwise, we're gonna run into problems. Kyle Walker-Peters plays it back to Koch. Koch looks long, gets Sinisterra. Sinisterra gets into the area, takes a shot. Yep, there's definitely elements here that tell me this can work, right? So, but we made small changes to your tactic. Whether we can finish this game and still have some shred of dignity, I don't know. Yep. Set piece. I'm sorry, man. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much we can do against a team like Liverpool. I mean, set piece, what can we say? Frank Garcia getting into the far. Oh, okay. We could have, set piece, right? Okay, this is something as well. Free kick wide. I hate this. Indirect free kick wide. Why is he going back? You can actually tell him to be on the far post, right? Yes, he can be zonally marking the far post, one of them. And this guy can be marking tall player. Or we can tell him to mark tall player, right? Have one of them marking a tall player. Or you can put this guy like this, or you can put him like this, right? You can put your two defenders here and have somebody marking tall player. It's a simple instruction. Just do that, right? Mark tall player, right? So we got, of course, you want to choose a player that can actually jump. It's pointless telling someone to mark a tall player, then you got nobody you can jump. We'll put him here, okay? And then we'll ask him to mark tall player. That's it, right? So indirect wide free kicks, you actually need someone marking tall player. We didn't set that up. Would that have made much of a difference? I have absolutely no clue. I like to think it does, but I could be entirely wrong. So far, I've been doing it for the last few seasons. It seems to work, except in draft mode, because somebody else does something strange in draft mode, I think. Okay, so it works some of the time. We need a new set piece creator. Honestly, we just need one new one. I'm just tired of. I don't want to. Yeah, so here we go. Liverpool 1, Leeds 1-0. I mean, we haven't played badly. Okay, now it's time for us to refresh our midfield because we'll get torn apart soon. Okay, we got Tyler Adams on a yellow card. I think we need to bring him off. We've got Fran Beltran and Archie Gray. So Mark Roca will just make sure that Stuart Dallas, I think he can't. No, he's not much of a ball winner. Okay, so Fran Beltran, okay, he's not that good either, but at least Okay, we got Gonto. Right. We got Yuso Polson. I think we've refreshed the center. Can we go on a higher mentality? I'm sure we can, but this is not a bad performance. All things considered, right? All things considered, I think going to Liverpool and getting this kind of result, we could have scored a goal. Sinistera was through. We only conceded a goal from a set piece, which is a bit disappointing. Well, I would say that, yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad performance. Oh, what a challenge from Gelhardt. That's it. Walking orders. Bye. See you later. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Some players just seem to want to go in for the challenge, man. I think this is not a bad setup, right? But I think a small tweaking to the set pieces could help. But I would stay on this setup, right? So what you can do with your tactic is you can still play a ball-winning midfielder, but this roaming playmaker never played Lindstrom here. You can play Lindstrom here. But I would remove these. More direct is fine. Tackle harder, mark tighter. Okay, more direct, run wide with ball, move into channels. Of course, we are missing one player here. Okay. And then inside forward, staying wider is fine. He can also mark tighter if you want. This guy can play on more direct passes. Then we got more direct passes, run wide with ball, and move into channels. You don't need focus play in this tactic, honestly. We can leave the focus play out. But we use the focus play to push this play here, but you always have to make sure that you got the right kind of play here. Okay, overall, I don't think this was that bad of a result. We might have lost, but the boys played well. Okay, so let's take a look at the instructions again, right? So I only made small tweaks to your tactic. Because I honestly don't think a lot of tweaks were needed in the first place. More like, who do you play? So here we've got pass it shorter. It's fine. We've got more direct, run wide with ball, move to chance. This is a bit dangerous, but yeah, you can make this work if you are keeping this guy in check. Then you've got ball playing defender and cover. Ball playing defender on defend is very interesting. It's old school, but it can work. Mark tighter instead of sit narrower. We don't want to use sit narrower in FM23 because of stop crosses, right? So if you're going to stop crosses, he needs to work. This player will come back and defend against the cross if you're playing on lower mentalities. The higher mentality, the less likely this player is going to help you defend. If you want all the players to get behind the ball, help you defend, and go on very low mentalities. Okay, full balance support, cross aim, target forward, get further forward is fine. Here, we've got more direct, cross aim, target forward, tackle harder, mark tighter is fine. We can play this guy as a target forward. I think it's still a very viable option here. So you're playing him as a target forward. So this is how I set your tactic up. I think it's still a pretty decent tactic. I think he can work. Opposition instructions, I would recommend that you take these guys out with hard tackling in your games. Right? So if you're going to try this out, this is exactly the direction I'll take this tactic in. There are other options. You can play with double DMs if you want. But if you play with double DMs, then of course you got to worry about the ball carry. You got to get players to bring the ball forward. And that, I'm sorry, you're probably going to struggle because your ball playing defenders, you can't do that if you're going to tell this player to be on a defend duty. So you're probably going to have to play wing backs on support at the back so they can bring the ball forward. It's a bit more challenging and you probably won't be able to use an offset like this. Remember the 4-3-3 double DM I created with these two at the back is Volantes and a central midfielder on attack here. That's another option that you can use as well. And now if you're playing a team like Man City who are next, and according to the match report, they're going to be playing a 5-2-3. That is a case of whether you want to put pressure on the back line. This will put a lot of pressure on that team, and these two are going to keep their three central midfielders hand back. So you can sit in a low block, draw those wing backs up, create space behind the back line. Sinistera can attack that space and try and score goals. Lindstrom can still play in this position as an inside forward. There's nothing wrong with playing him. He's still very creative. He's still going to try and give you chances. So we're playing Manchester City at home next. We got Poulsen, Gonto, Lindstrom, Sinistera, he's going to be playing as a shadow striker. Sinistera is an inside forward. We got Roca as a ball playing, roaming playmaker, hoping he's going to drop back. Ball winning midfielder in Beltran. I think Tyler Adams may not be available. Yep, he's suspended for this game. We got Jack Harrison injured. Frank Garcia, Stroy Koch, and Kyle Walker-Peters. Of course, now we've got all the changes in there. We don't have the stay wider, sit narrow instructions anymore. So we're going to use these simple instructions. More direct, run with ball. I'm going to leave this off. We're just going to run with ball, move into channels. And then Shadow Striker has got more direct passes, roam from position, mark tighter. This guy has got more direct passes, tackle other, mark tighter. All right, so same setup. I'm going to remove the focus play down the left. We're not going to pass into space. We're not going to work ball into box. We're going to keep things relatively simple against Manchester City. And here we go. Dressing room. Tactics. Once again, the opposition instructions have already been set. So we're doing it by position. Right, so we've got trigger press on the goalkeeper and the DM. We're showing these wing backs inside as well. So this guy is going to go left. And this guy is going to go right. Okay. And we're off. Ruben with the ball, plays it long. Strike gathers that easily. Frank Garcia back to the holding midfielder. Call out to Kyle Walker-Peters. He's not going to go forward. He's on defend duty. So they go back to Kyle Walker-Peters, who kicks it long. Paulson gets behind the... Okay, that was a misjudged header from the defense. A simple kick out to the target man. We scored a goal. Looks a bit buggy, I know. Yeah, John Stones missed the header completely. It can happen in Football Manager, but I see a lot of you screaming bug. Yes. Yes, mistakes. Yeah, it doesn't look very impressive, right, for a side for like Manchester City making these kind of mistakes. All right, now we've scored the goal. Can we hold the lead? That's going to be the important thing here. We've got players defending a corner. Bernardo taken away. Sinistera tries to start the counter, can't get away. Melia, we'll have to defend a corner now. Bernardo with the corner. Again, the header is cleared. I don't like the fact that we don't have another player forward. Okay, I'm gonna have to tweak the set pieces. Like defending, we got no one running forward. Yeah. Okay, we got one strike. Okay, he's marking tall. That's not too bad, right? We're gonna have Sinistera. We're gonna put Sinistera, get him to run away. We're gonna have at least two players at the edge of the area. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. We've got Sinistera getting away. We'll have two players at the edge. We got, who was the other player? AMC, AML. Okay, AMC, AML. This position should be a tall player, right? So good header, put at the far post, this player. All right, then the right, I'm not a big fan of that, so we'll just take him out. We'll take this guy out. Near post, we'll put him here. We'll put this guy at the far post. This should be fine. Just adjust our set pieces. Okay, we got Koch playing out to Kyle Walker-Peters, Frank Beltran, Sinistera with the ball, doing a lot of good work. Paulson, Lindstrom, and it strikes the post. Not too bad. Leeds still leading Manchester City. Now we've got Sinistera with the corner. Takes it, Edison gathers the ball. Leeds at home putting a bit of pressure. They're having a few issues building play up with their midfielders. Gonto shoots again. Keeper has to keep that out. Ball winning midfielder comes back. In terms of final third passes, what's interesting is we've had 50 final third passes. Manchester City have had 34, but the OPPDA is about 3. So, yeah. Whether that is an important statistic or not, I don't know. I don't even know whether it's accurate. I doubt it is. Okay. Oh, great off the line. Frank Garcia gets there. The defenders did brilliantly. They defended that really well. Okay. Stones has been taken off and we got Laporte on. Again, it's another corner. Grealish taking it in. It's a penalty. Why does this have to happen to me? Okay. Penalty awarded in the area. Mehdi Taremi is playing for Manchester City. Okay, we've been robbed. Yeah, we've been robbed. We played quite well. We've limited Manchester City to scraps in this game. Let's get something out of this game. Corner taken, and we scored a goal from the corner. It's another defensive error from Manchester City at the back. Let's see if we can hold on to this lead. Okay, all right. We gone to Manchester City. We got ourselves a goal. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this, but what we're gonna go very defensive. Tempo is we're gonna keep the same tempo. We're gonna also play for set pieces because that's what we do around here. Okay, and yeah, we're just gonna ask him now to be a target forward on attack. We're gonna leave these two alone. Okay, all right. We're just gonna drop into a very defensive posture and try and hold on to the lead. We've got another corner. Frank Garcia, Cox header. And we have managed to beat Manchester City at home. In terms of their XG, they had one penalty, but every other chance they had wasn't that fantastic, right? So I think overall we did better. If you take off the XG, the penalty XG from their scoreline, nope. Manchester City did not play well. Leeds got the better result. So we managed to a narrow defeat against Liverpool and a win over Manchester City. I think that we just need to make some simple changes to your attack. I get the flow, I get what you're trying to do, and I'm not going to change very much, right? So if you're looking at the whole formation, wing back on defense, just leave it Mark Titan. Don't tell him to sit narrow because you already are telling your players to stop the crosses, right? If you want these guys to come back, drop your mentality. Then you've got Mark Titan simple. We'll keep this, cover, defend combination. Then we got fullback support, cross him, target forward, get further forward. Ball winning midfielder, pass it shorter, that's fine. Roaming playmaker, run wide with ball, move into channels. Inside forward, more direct, cross him, target forward, tackle harder, mark tighter. Inside forward, told him to stay wider. It's a good instruction to give him because he seems to get away quite a lot and poses a big danger to a lot of teams because of his runs from wider positions, right? And then we got target for more direct passes, shadow striker with more direct passes, roam from position mark tight. The opposition instructions, I would recommend that when you play this kind of a setup, do the damage in midfield, right? And shunt the wing backs. Always force them in because that's where you're doing all the hard tackling anyway. So you got to be tight marking opposition teams' central midfielders, right? So by showing fullbacks, the only choice is to pass inside. That's where you're doing the damage. So you're going to do the damage there. And then as far as your set pieces are concerned, just make a few tweaks to your set pieces. This is not a very I don't like this set piece routine. I think this is a weak set piece routine. What you generally want to do is in set pieces, keep it simple, right? You got 3 zones that you want to worry about. These are your 3 zones. If you get these covered, you're fine. So put a strong player here, put a strong player here, put another player here, and that's it. I mean, honestly, this could be it. This is all you need, actually. So you got all the players covering. Depending on the teams that you play, if they've got a lot of near post threats, then you want to do this. Sometimes it's better to watch a highlight or 2 of the team before they come to your state, before you have the game with them, and then you can make adjustments there. Then always have one player to be an outlet for set pieces, and having 2 at the edge of the area is not a bad option. So this could be simple. Then having a mark tall, zonally marking these areas with a bit of man marking. Edge of area for the breakaway and the long shots. So a combination like this is actually a good idea. So this is how I would set up defensive corner routines. As far as your attack corner routines, I've noticed they're like this. I mean, this probably looks default. I used your corner routines. I didn't change anything, right? So I left them on mixed as well. So I would definitely think about set pieces as well. I mean, it seems to be an area of the game that you might have to address going forward. And I've done lots of videos. A lot of the set piece routines are exactly the same as they were in FM15. So nothing has changed in that regard. Well, I hope you found today's show useful. I've done 2 games. I think those are the tougher games for you. I think the rest of the matches, pretty much just keep doing what you're doing, right? And just make those small little tweaks to your tactic, and I think you'll be fine. I hope you enjoyed today's show. You found it useful. Meanwhile, the tool is going to be coming out soon. I'm getting friends of mine to, give it a run through as well. If you have any more questions, you guys know where to find me. Meanwhile, please stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.